Hey Awaken friends, Chris here and welcome to your flow. This is a balance and flow fully complete vinyasa practice. I've designed this one to take you on a bit of a nice warm-up stretch journey into some great movements that'll get you moving, maybe with a little bit of a sweat there, bit of heat building up in the body, and then calming on the way down. You don't need any props, but if you do have blocks, it will make some of the poses more accessible, which I'll talk to, but if you don't, that's completely fine. I've designed this so you can do it anywhere. And without further ado, let's come down to our hero's pose, onto knees, sitting up straight, and we're just gonna breathe a couple of times. Starting with our hands in our laps. That's just on a beautiful, nice inhale, lifting our chest, raising our fingertips above our head until our fingertips touch. Then exhale as we bring our hands down with our thumbs grazing past heart center. Hands opening up and then starting to flow back up. And this flow is all about finding the balance in yourself. Fingertips touch, hands coming down. And just finding a moment of peace for yourself, a moment of serenity on your refuge of your mat, opening hands back up. Inhale, coming back up with fingertips to touch. And just giving you a little bit of moment in your day to carve out for yourself. Exhale, coming down, hands to heart center. One more time through. I've actually designed this one because I'm teaching it at a conference in 2 weeks. So I thought it was appropriate to record it as well, which just helps me run through it a little bit more in my head before I do a larger live session like this one, and opening down. Bring your hands up so palms are facing. Let's rotate them around so the back of the palms are facing each other. And then bringing that around behind us. This opens our shoulders up into a nice external rotation, gripping the hands behind you, right thumb on top, and just gently gazing up to open your chest ever so gently. And then bringing your hands over onto your right hip. I'll mirror you. And then dropping your right ear down to your right shoulder. And just chill out here, maybe gazing up, gazing down. Nice gentle stretch through your neck. And hands coming back down and swapping the clasp over so that your other thumb is on top this time. Coming up and then coming over to your left hip and dropping your left ear down. Again, I'm mirroring you. I don't normally mirror when I'm recording classes, but seeing as I will be teaching this one live, I like to mirror when I'm teaching face-to-face. Makes it easier for people in the class to see. And exhale, hands down. Release that down. Let's come down to hands and knees. Coming into our nice tabletop position, let's just bring our hips stacking over our knees, shoulders over wrists, and just gently coming through and up with that nice articulation of the spine, opening the collarbones to the front of the room, and then exhale. Articulating all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, rounding up. And inhale, coming through, feeling the shoulders open up, neck moving back. And exhale, doming that spine. Imagine your spine rounding up as you stretch and open. And now coming back. And now just in your own time, let's bring some organic movements into this. Might be some creaks, might be some cracks as you just move around into this space. Dial into that breath, so that breath is now moving in through the nose and out through the nose. Really feeling into your space here. Maybe you've got some larger movements coming through. I like to move around on my wrists a bit more just to feel them wakening up. It's still early in the morning here. The workday hasn't started yet. No one else is in my office yet, so I've got a little bit of time and a little bit of space to make this class. And hands coming back down to the front of your mat, arriving back into your tabletop position. And we're just gonna lift the left foot and bring it to the back of the mat. And moving to the right knee, let's just open up into this nice side plank variation, just feeling the stretch here, starting to bring some balance into your body, some nice connection. Left hand down to the ground, and let's switch sides. Left knee coming, tracking just below our left wrist, right foot to the back of the mat, and open up. I'm just starting to feel a little bit of stability, a little bit of core activation, and right hand down to the ground. Coming back down into center, and tuck our toes, and let's come up and into downward facing dog. And first dog of the day, might be your 10th, might be more, but whatever it is, pedal it out. We want to preserve that nice gentle bend in our knees when we come to our down dog, which keeps our lower back nice and protected, so we're not putting too much undue pressure on it. When you're ready, just start to come into more of a static position with a nice long breath in. And then exhale, roll those shoulders down, bringing some length so your tailbone's moving up towards the sky. And coming to the balls of your feet, let's tiptoe and walk all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, fingertips come up just below the knees, and exhale as we fold all the way down. And don't come into your full position here, maybe keep a nice bend in your knees to preserve that back. Grip onto your elbows and just rock a little bit here. And just wake up those hamstrings, starting to feel into those connectors between your hips and your hamstrings, all those muscle fibers, getting ready to help you through the day. And next inhale, let's roll up, stacking your spine one vertebra by vertebra, all the way up to the top. Roll your shoulders open, hands coming to the front of the room. Let's arrive into Savasana, feet gripping into the ground, strength coming up through those thighs. And hold here. Big breath in as our hands start to come up, fingertips touch above our head as we breathe into the top of our chest. And exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, fingertips below the knees. And exhale, hands to the ground and step back into a plank pose. Arriving here with length and strength. Heels are moving towards the back of the room. We're just gripping and feeling this all through our body. Core switching on, feeling that in our glutes. And then bending the elbows, bringing them down past the chest. Slowly come down towards the ground. Inhale, pressing up into a cobra. Just gently raising up through your lower back. And through your upper back. Preserving your lower back, rather. Don't lift through your upper back. Inhale, coming up again. Lifting through your upper back and feeling the strength down into your lower back. Is what I should have said. And exhale down. Inhale, coming up. And this time, see what it's like to lift your hands away so you know that you're really using your strength of your back to lift. Exhale down, tuck the toes, up through plank, hinge at the hips, and back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. One big inhale. And exhale out through the nose. Coming to the balls of your feet, you can step again or hop, skip, teleport to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale, fold all the way down. And inhale, raising hands up to the sky, fingertips touch, and then exhale, fold forward, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, and then step back or jump back into our chaturanga, and slowly come all the way down to the ground one more time. Raising up to cobra, or pressing all the way up into upward dog. When your thighs are off the ground, you're really pressing through your ankles and your feet into your mat. Rolling over the toes, then back to downward facing dog, or coming up through plank and hinging at the hips to arrive back in dog. Quick tuck of the shirt in, using editing magic, and we're back. Coming to the ball of the left foot, right foot floats up to the sky. Bringing that knee into the chest one time. Let's tiger curl it all the way up so we dome that spine like we started, bringing our nose towards our knee, and then raising it back up to the sky. And then bringing that foot all the way up, so right toes to right thumb. The left foot's going to turn to a 45-degree angle, and we rise into warrior one. Watching that right knee to make sure it's tracking over the right ankle. Feeling strength through as our hips are moving towards the front of the room. Warrior space. And then exhale, hands coming down, framing right foot back to left, and then slowly coming down through chaturanga again, and raising up into our up dog, or our cobra, and rolling over the toes. Coming back into downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky, and tiger curl again, doming that spine, bringing that knee all the way up, knee to nose. And then raising back up to the sky. Left foot comes up to left thumb. Right foot turns to 45 degrees and rise up into our warrior one. And hold here. Again, just looking out for that left knee to make sure it's tracking over our left ankle. really gripping through the outer edge of the right foot. Then hands come down, framing left foot back to right. And then coming down from plank, down to the ground. And this time maybe all the way to the ground and up for a cobra. And if you're feeling it, up into up dog, rolling over the toes, and back to downward facing dog. And take a deep breath in here. And allow that breath just to center you, to create a space, to create a focus, to bring you into alignment. Coming to the ball of the ball of left foot. Right foot floats up to the sky. And right knee comes up, doming through the spine. Like that tiger curl, the right foot comes up to right thumb. Left foot pivots to 45 degrees, rising up to warrior one. And open to the side into our warrior two. And hold. Breathe here, gazes over your right fingers. Arms are coming out from the shoulders, bringing that depth in your position, feeling that through your hips as your hips are opening, and maybe breathing to go a little bit deeper. And then left hand windmills down, framing the right foot back to left, back in plank pose, and ever so slowly come down, either to chaturanga and up to up dog, all the way down and into cobra, whatever you're feeling this morning. And rolling over toes, and back to downward facing dog. Coming to the ball, the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky. Left knee tiger curls all the way up. Left toes to left thumb. Right foot 45 degrees, we rise up into our warrior one. Strength here, outer edge of right foot's really gripping into the mat. And pivot open into our warrior two. And breathe here. Breathe into the space, breathe into the moment. Breathe into your strength in your warrior. Maybe a little bit more depth. And then right hand comes over, cartwheeling down, left foot back to meet right. And slowly down through chaturanga and into cobra or up dog. And rolling over the toes and back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. Deep breath in. Feeling up those lungs all the way to the top, the back of your back. Up near the top there, feeling your lungs really expand. And exhale, centering into yourself. We'll take one more deep inhale. And exhale. And coming to the balls of your feet, bending at the knees, we're going to hop, skip or teleport to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, fingertips below the knees. And exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, rising up, fingertips touching. And exhale down to heart center. And arriving back on your mat. And for this next part, we're going to do a little bit of balance work as we arrive into our space and really feel in and grip into our mat. So pushing your left foot down into the ground, grip it so you can really feel the toes. Maybe lift your toes and grip them back into the mat so you've got 4 points of contact. Heels, sides of the feet, toes into your mat. And I want you to raise your right knee. Bring it with you on this journey. Bring our hands up above us into a stork position. And now we're going to exhale as we bend our left knee. Ooh. Watch out for the wobble, that's first thing in the morning. Bend our left knee, bringing our right knee with us. Hands are coming back, our palms are facing the ground as we move back. Right leg is coming back behind us into an aeroplane. Now airplanes, if you've seen them land or take off, their noses are up. They're not pointing down towards the ground. So just preserve that, keep that nose up for now. Inhale, coming back through. Lifting that right knee with you, up into a stork position. And then flow back into the airplane. Palms are facing towards the ground. Legs coming back. It may get straight, it may not. Keeping a nice gentle bend in your left knee to preserve you all the way through. And exhale, coming back up. Right knee floats up, hands come above the head, back into your stork. And last time, before we get a break, hands coming back, flowing, feeling this connection, nice gentle bend in your left knee, right knee coming out behind you, feeling that aeroplane, feeling into the space here. And then exhale, right knee down to the ground, and shake it out, and feel into that. Nice connection, nice balance. Feel into that for today. Okay, and moving to the other side now. Right foot is going to grip into the ground. Maybe lift those right toes and just grip them down so you can feel it. We don't want to add too much pulling action with our toes as we're moving through this. It's more about stability. But we want the 4 points of contact. We want to feel our heel, we want to feel outer edge, inner edge. Just really feel that. And the left knee's going to float up with our hands above head as we come into Stork. And then flowing forward, gentle bend in the knee. Hands will come down, flowing in front of us so that palms are facing towards the ground. We're bending our right knee just gently. We've got that aeroplane so that the nose is pointing up. Ooh, trying to be nose pointing up. Might be a bit of a wobble, and that's perfectly fine. Inhale, coming back up, arriving into our Stork. And exhale as we move back through. When we're in the Stork, we're here for a little bit longer, so don't forget to breathe while you're here. Breathe into this moment. Feel that length, feel that strength. And then coming back through, rising back up into our Stork. Last time to flow through here. Bend of the right knee, coming back through. You might find one side is much easier than the other. I find this side for me is so much easier than my left side. And then slowly bringing your foot down, left foot to meet right, and shake it out. Shake it out. And then come together, big toes touch. Let's bring our hands down, so almost in this nice Tadasana pose, mountain pose, bending at the knees, coming down, hands will come up into a beautiful chair position. And watch the lower back as a little call out so that we're not rounding it, articulating it. Our tailbone's pointing down towards the ground. But nice length here, nice strength. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, back up to a chair pose. And this time let's just flow 3 times with our hands. Hands come down as we'll be flowing back to our aeroplane. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, coming back down towards our aeroplane. And inhale, back up. And last time, inhale as if we're coming down towards our aeroplane. And exhale, back to chair pose. Standing all the way up, fingertips above our head, hands come down through heart center, fold forward. Inhale, fingertips below the knees for a nice halfway lift. Big breath in here, big expression. Feel your side bodies really open up here. Exhale, hands down to the mat, and step back to plank pose. And coming all the way down to the ground, pressing up. One time into Cobra, then tucking your toes, lifting up, hinging at the hips, and arriving back and into downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of the left foot, right foot will float up to the sky. Knee coming up to the right thumb. As we arrive here, we're gonna open straight into our warrior 2. And stabilize. Feel the length here. Feel your arms moving out, anchoring you into the present moment. And then flipping both palms, let's flow up to a flying warrior. And exhale, opening. Breathing again, palms face up. Flying warrior, fingertips touch. And exhale, coming down. Flipping the front palm and flowing back into a reverse warrior. Hand over head. Gaze might follow your elbow, your fingers, or just gazing up to the sky. And flowing back. Warrior 2. One more time, flipping the front palm, flowing back into reverse warrior. And this time, bringing the right knee down to the right, your right elbow to the right knee. I always do that. And opening up into a side angle pose. Now you can be here with your hand on the knee, or if you're feeling open, you can go down to the ground. And one movement, float back to reverse warrior. And coming back to one more side angle, let's feel that right elbow, right knee, opening up. You may bring a block here for support, or come down. And coming back to reverse warrior, one movement. Now this time, you might bring your back leg in just a tad, straightening the front leg. Let's bring our hands back to warrior 2 arms, hinging at these hips. We're gonna bring the hips all the way back, like pivot them all the way back, reaching out really far, like the hands of a clock, tilting down. Now wherever your hand lands on your shin, use that to press yourself up. It will give you more range. If you come straight down to the ground and you're not opening the hips, you're just gonna collapse So this will give you a lot more lift, a lot more strength, and a lot more opening. And both hands down to the ground, framing the right foot back to left into our nice strong plank position. This time we'll bring our knees down. We'll bring our forearms down and breathe it up into a nice up dog, rolling through an exhale over the toes and back to downward facing dog. Coming to the ball, the right foot, left foot will float up to the sky. Again, through that nice tiger curl. Left toes up to left thumb, and we'll pivot open into warrior two. Arriving here. Strength and stability. Bringing ourselves, anchoring into this present moment. Flipping both palms, flying up to a flying warrior. And then exhale, coming down. Flipping both palms, flying up to a flying warrior. And exhale back down. Front palm flips, flowing back to reverse warrior. Gaze follows the hand or up to the sky. Exhale back to warrior two. Flip the front palm again, flowing back to reverse warrior. And this time, left elbow down to left knee. Got it that time. Opening up into side angle pose. And flowing back, one movement, into reverse warrior. And coming back to our side angle pose. Maybe bring the hand down to the ground, down to a block, wherever feels open and accessible today. One movement coming back into reverse warrior. As we arrive back into our warrior two, we're gonna maybe step the back foot in just a tad to shorten the stance, straightening the left leg. Hips will hinge back, hands like a clock as we reach as far forward as we can, as far forward, and then twisting down, tilting, hands of a clock. Wherever your left hand lands, press up on your shin to really give you the length there. And just feel that opening through your body. And if you come down, you may collapse into your hips if you're not open enough. So just really press up, gives you more reach. And then bending the left knee, right hand will come round, framing the left foot back to right. Knees will come down, forearms come down, nose grazes almost to the ground. Breathe up into a nice lunar. Lift into an up dog, and then roll over the toes, and back to downward facing dog. And breathe in here, stabilize. Breathe into this space, into this moment. Join the ball, left foot, right foot will float up to the sky. Right knee comes all the way up to right thumb. Opening ourselves up into warrior two. Flipping both palms, flow up to a flying warrior. Then exhale, opening back up. One more time, fly up to a flying warrior. Fingertips touch, and front knee moves forward again, tracking over our ankle, pressing through the outer edge of our left foot, flipping the front palm, flow back to reverse warrior. Gaze follows the hand or up to the sky. Right elbow, right knee, as we come into side angle pose. I don't know what it is about this side. Always happens. And then flowing one movement, coming back to reverse warrior. And then this time, coming forward into our warrior two, but straighten both legs. Pivot so our toes are facing to the edge of the mat. We're going to fold forward into a nice, long, wide leg fold forward. And just breathe here. Lifting up one time, so we've got a nice, flat, strong back, and a halfway lift, and exhale, folding down. Inhale up as we pivot to the back of the mat. Right knee will come down, bending the left knee, and hands up to the sky into an Ardha Anjaneyasana. And then untucking the right toes, let's bring it back into Ardha Hanuman, and we just start to bend forward over a straightening left leg. Bringing the left foot back down to the ground, raising yourself back up, and exhale, coming back to it, Ardha Hanuman. Breathing and with the movement, coming forward again to an Ardha Anjaneyasana, a lowered crescent lunge, and exhale, coming back to where it feels good here. And this time as we stop, we're just going to take a nice couple of breaths here. We might have our head lifted, we might have a nice bend in our left knee, whatever feels good, maybe raised higher, wherever you can feel a nice opening, a nice piece of movement A nice stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale, hands coming down. Now, with our right foot, we're just going to lift back up onto our toes, dropping the right foot down, heel down, pivoting around so that we're back into our fold forward. Take one nice fold here. Inhale, raising back up, fingertips touch above our head. Let's pivot all the way around. So the hands will come down to frame the right foot, pivoting onto the ball of the left foot. Take a nice breath in here. Breathe in, open those collarbones into a nice runner's lunge. And then right foot back to left. Knees will come down, forearms will come down. We'll breathe, open it up into our up dog, rolling of the toes, and back into our downward facing dog. Coming to the ball of our right foot, left foot will float up to the sky. Left knee will tiger curl all the way up to the left thumb as we open into our warrior two. Breathe here, anchor yourself into the present moment in this space. Flip both palms, flying up, flying warrior. Exhale, down. Flipping both palms again, up into flying warrior. And exhale, down. Flipping the front palm and flow back into reverse warrior. And bringing our left elbow down to the left knee, opening ourselves up into side angle pose, or left hand down to the ground. And one movement, flowing back into reverse warrior. And this time, all 10 toes will pivot to the other side of the mat. And we're going to come into a fold forward. A nice forward fold, legs are wide, bending all the way down, and arriving into the ground. Inhale, coming up to the fingertips, long back, preserving that extra length in your back. Exhale, down to the ground. Inhale, coming up, pivoting around, left knee will come down, right knee will bend, and we'll arrive into our Ardha Anjaneyasana. Breathe here. And as we exhale, untuck the left toes, lifting the right foot, and come back into Ardha Hanuman. Now, if you're Ardha Hanuman, again, maybe there's a nice bend in your front right knee, lift it up as an elevated chest. Exhale, come forward, flowing up. Inhale as we come back. And breathe here. So we just breathe into the space that we're creating, into our hips, into our hamstrings, and flowing back to Anjaneyasana. And last time here, we'll hold it for just a tad longer. Breathe into this space. Take it to whatever the depth feels good to you, wherever feels accessible, wherever you can feel the most stretch and movement. And exhale, coming forward, straight back to Anjaneyasana. Maybe take a little bit of depth here. Maybe just open those hip flexors. Now, hands will come down to the ground for the moment, tucking the left toes, dropping the left heel, and we're going to pivot around and arrive back into our forward fold. And inhale as we raise our hands up to the sky, pivoting ourselves back around, hands will frame our left foot, coming onto the ball of our right foot for a nice runner's lunge stretch. And the left foot back to meet right, arriving back into plank pose. And from here, we're going to lower in the count of 7, 6, 5. Coming through chaturanga, 4, 3, 2, 1. And arrive on the ground. 1, lift up into cobra pose. And exhale all the way down, forehead to touch. Hands will come down beside you, palms facing into the ground. And we're just going to press into the ground here as we lift our toes and lift our legs off the ground in a half locust position. Exhale, coming down. This time, can we lift our chest as well? Arms coming up. Palms are facing towards the ground, but our neck is in alignment. We're not looking to the front of the room. We've got nice spinal alignment here. As you breathe into the space, hold as you lift, and exhale down. One more time, maybe starting with the feet first, or coming into the full expression straight away. What does it feel like to you? What can you do today? What is bringing you into balance and into your flow? Breathe here, hold here, feel the strength, and exhale all the way down. Putting our hands underneath our shoulders. Let's press up and come back onto our knees into a seated hero's position. Take Take our fingertips up where we started. And exhale as our hands come down through heart center. And breathe here. Done a lot of work, a lot of movement, move through a lot of flowing and a lot of balance. So let's just take a nice gentle opener for part of our closing down or moving towards the end of this flow. Coming up onto our knees, can we very gently press our hands just into our lower back as we lift our chest and look up to the sky, keeping our neck in nice alignment as we're just preserving our lower back here. And exhale, come back up. You tuck your toes here. There's two ways to get into camel. Having your toes flat, I feel with your toes tucked, you can really press up into here. I have a how-to on this channel if you want more detail. But when you're ready, come back and just pressing yourself back. If you're feeling it today and you feel like there's more expression and you don't knock your microphone pack off, you can lean back, press here, and just keep your chest pressing up, pressing through your shoulders. You get this nice lift up through your body, and if it feels good, you can lower your head back. And breathe. And then to get out of it, pressing your hands into the lower back one at a time, coming back through, sitting here, and then coming down and lowering into a nice child's position. Nice child's pose. Hands out in front, knees wide. And breathe. Breathe there. Take a nice deep breath in and out. A nice breath in and out. And coming back up to a kneeling position, let's just roll over the feet and bring the feet out in front of us. So we've got one right foot out. Bring our left foot in side. Our right into a Janushavasana. We're going to do a nice forward stretch. So as we bring our hands up overhead, we're going to turn our chest slightly towards the foot that's at the front of the room. And then we're just going to delicately bend forward to wherever feels good. You may bring this knee up to bend a little bit to preserve the lower back if it's feeling stretched, or if you're connecting muscles and the connecting tissue between your hips and your hamstrings is tight. But fall to wherever feels good and available to you. And inhale, come up, swap legs over, left foot in front, right foot tucked in. And again, same thing, bringing our hands up. So we face the front of the room, but then we just move our chest. And this just opens up our hips a little bit more. Not all of us have hips that face the exact same way, so this might feel nicer for you, might feel more accessible as we slowly move down. And again, you might get to a spot that feels good, reaching towards the toes, reaching just on the leg. You may bend the knee, just preserve the lower back as you come down. And you may really find that one side is a lot tighter than the other. And if that is, that's fine, just something to be aware of. Could have done a lot. It's Monday morning here. It's been a very long weekend. I have like so many different sports across all of my kids and running around and kids parties and all different things. So sometimes things can be a bit crazy and tight. And if you haven't found time or space for you, you can definitely show up on the mat. Bringing our feet back in. Let's come back into a nice reclined position, just lowering down to the ground. Feet out. Oh, actually, let's do left foot in and underneath. Bring our right foot on top. We're going to bring our hands either to grab the thigh, just here for a reclined pigeon pose, or all the way through for the shin. And just stretch here. Maybe a gentle rock, maybe some movement, whatever feels good to your body today. I like to breathe in and out by bringing the legs slightly up. So exhale comes in, inhale to make room goes out, exhale. Now, let's swap that over. Right foot down to the ground, left foot on top. Open that up, hands come through, or maybe all the way. And again, just a gentle rock and breath. Inhale and exhale. And then unwinding all of this, bringing your feet out to the edges of the mat. The hands will come down, either facing the ground for grounding or hands up if you're looking to receive and just want a bit more to come into your life, or just looking for a little bit more. Depends what you need. Some days I want to be grounded. Some days I just need some inspiration. And let's connect into this moment, into this space. I don't always put a Savasana into the flows at the end, but whenever I do a class where someone else is teaching me and they do a Savasana at the end, it just feels amazing. So take this moment for yourself as you connect in and feel yourself on the mat. Feel yourself dialed in to every part of your body as you've moved and connected, and taking this time to really honor yourself, giving space to yourself, and a bit of love for yourself on the mat for all that you've achieved and for being here today and showing up in this way. I'm going to leave you just to lie here in this wonderful space and let you just have this moment to yourself. I want to thank you for flowing with me. I'll let this record for just a little bit longer so you can just be here. Alrighty. I want you to just take this moment for yourself, to be present, to connect into your space.